participants. Not shabby, huh? Okay. His work has garnered national media attention, so if you ever watch Jen Psaki on MSNBC, our hero. Univision, Telemundo, at 17, Cesar has established himself as a transformational figure whose organizing model demonstrates how authentic community leadership creates sustainable systemic change through cultural celebration, direct action, and public advocacy. Cesar.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for having me. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
How's everyone doing today? All right. Thank you all. I have a speech prepared for you all, but before I share this speech, I do want to share some of the statistics that I've been having to add to, that I've been living through. So since January 20th, we've had a little under 800 families separated across San Luis Obispo County, Santa Barbara County, and Ventura County.
Wow.
And those only account for the sightings that we have confirmed. We're estimating that the number is well over 1,500 families that have been separated that we might honestly never know about. Last Friday was the worst day, at least for San Luis Obispo County and North Santa Barbara County. 16 individuals were detained and deported the same day. Of those 16, there was a family of 6 that was deported together. Well, we're seeing that every day. And so on the news, you might hear about a story every once in a while when it's big or when it's in your backyard. But it's happening every day. Every single day I'm waking up to patrol and track ICE, around the communities. We have patrols in Paso Robles, San Luis Obispo, Santa Maria, Lompoc, and Santa Barbara for the areas that have been targeted. And every day, at least a few people are being taken out of San Luis Obispo County, North Santa Barbara, Santa Barbara County or San Luis Obispo County. For some background, there's 2 local ICE offices. There's the ICE office in Santa Maria, and there's the ICE office in Camarillo. And the ICE office in Santa Maria takes individuals from North Santa Barbara, from Santa Barbara itself all the way to the entirety of San Luis Obispo County, and Camarillo does all of Ventura County and South Santa Barbara. And so the ICE agents that are affecting our community are coming directly from, my backyard. And so it's a hard life, right, where we're tracking around 13 vehicles on a daily basis, going across the 3 counties. I mean, you all probably read that they were in San Luis Obispo 2 days ago now.
No.
But they were in San Luis Obispo downtown area surrounding downtown. That was the first time we were able to successfully stop ICE from taking someone, which is good, which is amazing. But then, unfortunately, ICE went to Santa Maria. The sheriff department opened the doors of their detainment facility, and ICE entered with their vehicles and took people from the sheriff. And so it was a successful day for San Luis Obispo, not successful for Santa Barbara, but at least now we have, really, really clear evidence that the sheriff and ICE are working together. And I could have bet serious money on that I don't have around 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Now it's just in our face. And so I wrote this for you all. It's a speech I hope reaches all of you. So, hello everyone. Mi nombre es Cesar Vasquez, and I wanted to start off by thanking you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for having me here. I wanted to spend the next 20 minutes or so telling you all why I am here. The reason is to tell the truth. The truth, the only thing that keeps us up at night, and puts us to sleep because we can't deal with it. Today, I want to talk about the truth that is pushing my people down, our community down, our people down. And that truth is about the system that we were all taught to love. But before I tell you the truth about the system, I need you all to know what the system has done to my community. The truth about what my community is facing. Yesterday at around 5:20 a.m., an individual was taken from the same street that I live on, less than 10 houses away. In that house, there was a family. That family is now one soul emptier. Around a month ago, I got a call from a husband who told me that his wife and 2 kids had been detained. I got out of my house as quickly as possible and I went to the nearest store to try to get her a briefcase. I got a purple suitcase. I still wanted her to feel like a human, not like a victim. I packed the clothes, I got everything she needed, but by the time I had gone into the ICE office, she had already been deported. I was the one that had to tell him that his family was stripped away from him. He had a daughter who was 6, a son who was 8, and his wife was pregnant. A few weeks later, he finally had to let go of his life. We packed 2 boxes full of his life, his kids' clothes, shoes, school supplies, and memories. Their life was packed into 2 boxes that costed $300 to get shipped to Mexico, and within an hour, the lives of his wife and 2 kids were packed away. When I was dropping him off at home, he spent 30 minutes showing me pictures of his kids, telling me about them and what they loved. The truth is, I've had to witness 4 kidnappings right in front of me. 4 souls have been taken by ICE agents in front of me. 4 lives taken away, 4 families separated. And I need you all to know that these stories, and I need you all to know about these stories because we cannot live in a society where these stories are forgotten. The first time I ever witnessed a kidnapping, I was looking for the ICE agents. We got a sighting that they were at the mall parking lot. I headed there, and the moment I arrived, someone was taken. Our volunteers were pushed to the side by ICE agents. They took someone from inside an office, took him away from his family, his life, never to be seen on this beautiful soil again. While he was being detained, he was gripping a red card. He had his basic human rights in his hand, but at that moment, they were all taken away from him by ICE agents, literally tossed to the ground. The second time we got a sighting, the ICE was in front of the jail. I raced over there, I confirmed that ICE was there, I mentally prepared myself to witness another kidnapping. I waited, I confronted the ICE agents, shaming them for destroying innocent lives, pure lives, and taking the pride and soul from my community. A second later, the man opened the door to what he thought would be a free world. Little did he know on the other side of that world was the devil. The devil took him that day, put him in handcuffs, and was forced away, dragging him from his freedom. He smiled though. Confused, I looked to my side and realized he was smiling because his daughter was right next to me. His daughter could only cry as she witnessed her father being dragged away. I was the first person that she hugged at that moment. The pain and burden pushed onto my soul. I wanted to tell her that I was here to help, but there was nothing we could do about her father being taken away. I later found out that her brother had walked out with me in February. In February, students rose to the occasion to fight and walk out and show the community that they will not stand for the fear that ICE brought to our community. But we didn't know in February that a few months later, his father would be taken from him. I just saw their family a week ago as I delivered a $1,000 check, but we all knew at that moment that no amount of money could ever replace the love that their father had for them. My intention with the stories is not to burden you all, but to show the world what burden the system has pushed onto all of our souls. The burden of the truth is heavy, which is why we all need to carry it. And for you all that don't know, I've been organizing, I've been an activist, I've been fighting for my community, and I've been burdened with the truth of our society since I was 12 years old. I've been burdened with the souls of our community for 2,097 days. For 2,097 days, my life, love, hate, mind, and soul has been focused on the burden, pain, injustice, fear, and hate, and genocide pushed onto my people just because of their presence. The presence that the world has manipulated and used. Constantly when this conversation of immigrants is brought up, the argument is brought up that they deserve to stay in this country because of the worth that they bring to this country. But my question is, why must it be that they are only allowed to stay when they are of value to the country? Why isn't the argument that they are human first? Every person I mentioned earlier deserves to have their story told, not because they work a certain job, or because they bring in a certain amount of money, or because they pick a certain berry. Their story deserves to be told because they are human. The system fails to see that they are human. There are times where we all fail to recognize that what we are fighting for is for humans of this world. We must fight for every soul, every breath until they are free. We cannot pick and choose. We cannot decide whose story deserves to be told and whose case deserves to be fought for. That is not up to us. We are no God. We are only dealing with the wrath of the devil. And this wrath has destroyed our lives. This wrath that has infected my life for the past 2,097 days is only curable when you realize that the wrath is the system. The world can only heal from the wrath when we acknowledge the fact that the Constitution that we have been taught to defend was a Constitution that was written to ensure that the Founding Fathers remained supreme over their slaves. The flag we have been taught to salute has been used against the people that have kept the flag up. The system we have been taught to defend was curated to attack us. The police and sheriff officers we have been told to look up to are the same agents opening the door for ICE agents, allowing them to kidnap our community. It is only now that the system has attacked us from the front. You see, ever since I was born, I have had to deal with the system that has attacked us. Except it has attacked you from the back and me from the front. The system has forced my people onto their knees where their berries lie. They have forced us into mental institutions for feeling attacked. They have lost and rewritten our stories to tell their own. They have erased us from history. They have erased my blood from the soil it has grown. They have destroyed the proof that we are the curators. I do not say this to say that we cannot fight for a constitution, for a flag. I say this to say that we must fight for the flag and constitution that is written for the people, not the ownership of them. We must fight for a world. We must fight for a world where we can all say that we are proud to stand for it every day. I can't stand here and say that I am proud. The system is the reason my mom has been waiting for the quote-unquote right way for over 30 years. It is the reason my sisters and their partners can't see each other. It is the reason my mom hasn't been able to be there for graduations, award ceremonies, or first days. The system is the reason we know that over 750 families have been separated across Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, and Ventura County. And it is the same reason that we think over 1,500 families have actually been separated. The truth burdens me with every corner I turn, because every corner I turn, I see the face of every child that has lost a parent. For years, the system has turned me away, and only now is it making people turn their heads towards it. Only now is it public that our voices being silenced, control over bodies being taken away, and freedom being butchered like we are lambs sent to the slaughter. Our lives have always been political. Every statistic and story my community has been made into is a political stance. Our entire life is a political stance. Every step and breath you take is a political stance. Every morning you wake up and decide to complain about the world instead of being out there to help the community is a political stance. Every second you decide that your comfort carries more weight than a mother's burden of losing her family. You are taking a political stance. Every store you shop at, every post you watch, conversation you have or don't have is a political stance. The system has turned our lives into a carousel of political decisions. So I need you all to decide what political stance you are taking with every free breath that you still have. Because here's the reality. I've had to witness these 4 kidnappings right in front of me. I have nightmares of the handcuffs that are around my people's wrists. I have nightmares about the ICE agents that follow me. But none of that compares to the nightmares that the 5-year-old had today when her mom explained that she wouldn't see her dad anymore. I'm not here to tell you all that you are not doing enough, but the reality is, if the world doesn't realize that our lives are political, we will all be equally responsible for every other kidnapping I have to witness, for every single other kid that has lost a parent or parent that has lost a job. Every time we decide our money doesn't need to be donating, we are deciding our comfort is more important than someone's freedom. Every second someone isn't out there patrolling, handing out food, or sharing resources is another second that allows our administration to tear the world of families apart. Every time you overlook your view and think, wow, this is beautiful and peaceful, I want you all to also think about what every kid who has lost their parents has to see. This message is harsh. I will admit that, but the world we are living in has proven to be harsher. It has proven to be filled with greed, pride, ego, and that has only added to the depths of hell we are living in. And the only hope is if every single one of you decides to act up and resist against the hell we are all burning in. I gave up my entire childhood to fight for the unfree. I now need you to fight too. I need you all to stand up for those that can't and use every free step to take a step towards liberation and freedom for all. We are not living in a free world. We are living in a world that needs liberation, because there is no reason that I should memorize every vehicle in my neighborhood to know which vehicle is a federal agent outside my house that morning. There is no reason that 34% of my life has to be dedicated to carrying the burden. There is no reason why I should be scared to sleep at home at night because I know I am on a federal list somewhere. There is no reason any of us should be here defending our democracy. But we are here. We are here to defend the wrath. We are here to shine light onto the devil and show the world that hope is still here. We are here to prove to the oppressors that we will not allow for the continuous oppression. We will not allow for the lynchings in Mississippi that happened a few days ago, or the 16 community members kidnapped Friday. We will not allow for this because we cannot. We cannot be okay living in a world where the history we were taught to learn from is being repeated. There is no reasons why systems like the Underground Railroad should be brought back, because we should be able to live in a system where our existence isn't considered evil. We cannot live under a system that has defended the agents and policies meant to push my family down. The truth is that we all have the power to make the change. There are hundreds of families that need support. They need food, financial assistance, a place to stay, a place to feel safe. 15 minutes before I arrived, a family needed to run because an 8-year-old boy was on the verge of losing a mother. There is no reason for this existence. And every single one of our existences has the power to make a change. Every single one of you all has the power to carry the burden so that one day no one has to. So that one day I don't have to be up here pleading for help, but finally spending a night at home. My ask, my plead and beg is for every single one of you to all support the community that is at risk. Because trust me, the existence of my community, my people, my family, and me is on the line. Unfortunately, the ongoing joke with my team is whether I will make it to my 18th birthday without being arrested or silenced. That is the truth I'm living in. And that is the truth we all must fight against. Thank you all. Well, I have some time for questions. If any of y'all want to ask any questions, share any thoughts, yes.
Cesar, could you tell us a little more about La Cultura del Mundo?
Yeah, so La Cultura Del Mundo is it's an organization I started when I was 14. I saw too much red tape. I saw too much politics, honestly, being involved in the way that organizations were helping our community. It's I'll be very blunt about this. It's a very white system for people to prove that they are struggling, right? Every single time that we have to go and fill out Medi-Cal or food stamps, we have to prove that we are struggling. And I wanted to remove that, right? I wanted to remove the burden of having to show the world that we're poor. And because of that, I created La Cultura Del Mundo, which is an organization that's entirely youth-led. And so every single decision is made by a team of from 12 years old to 20 years old. They make every decision, plan every event, lead every meeting. I'm really the only one who has communication with adults, funders, if we have any at that moment. And so it's entirely youth-led. It started with, life skills workshops, teaching entrepreneurship, carpentry, bike repair. And then the world went to hell, and now we're trying to, a lot of us defend our community. Right, I was sharing how one of the students who walked out, who is a part of La Cultura del Mundo, his father was taken right in front of me. And so it's a burden, everyone carries, even the people younger than me, the people the same age as me. And so that's La Cultura del Mundo. It really depends on when youth have time to meet, when I can feed them, when we have a space to meet. But we're trying our best to fight. Whenever a family reaches out for support, we don't ask any questions. We say, if you need support, we will support you. We have no reason to ask for you to prove that you're struggling, or to prove that you're poor, or prove that someone was taken. If you're gonna ask, we're gonna give, as long as we have the money in the bank account. And so it's very fluid. We don't publish how or when or where we use the money, just because we never want to put a family at risk for us telling them, if we were to explain that a hotel was purchased for a family, too many conclusions can be made about where that family is staying, when they are staying, why they are staying in a hotel, and we never want to put a family at risk. And so everything is very much on a need-to-know basis. There's times where we have individual supporters, right? And so whenever there's a family in need, we'll explain the situation simply to that one individual or family of supporters, and then the funding will come in that way. And so it doesn't need to be a direct donation, but it's also like sponsoring different situations. Like I said earlier, just before I arrived, there was a family who needed to find a place to stay. She had a 8-year-old son who was autistic and would not survive without her mother. And at that point, there is no other option but to support the family. And like I said also earlier, I'm never going to pick and choose who I support. If I'm able to support, I'm going to support, because that's what we should do. It should never be about whose case is worse, or who's a citizen or not, who's a criminal or not. It's who's a human, right? And as far as I know, until aliens have invaded, our Earth, we're all humans. And so, yeah, that's La Cultura del Mundo.
Yes, thank you. Can you tell us how ICE was stopped in San Luis Obispo County?
Yeah, so...
And then also just tell us how we can support you.
Well, so what happened in San Luis Obispo, we had a confirmation that ICE was there. It was confirmed raid vehicles that I followed before. The same vehicle that was confirmed was the same ICE agent who threatens me, calls me a gangster. They say that I'm a big gangster in Santa Maria. I look like one apparently. And so we were able to send volunteers. We had around 20 volunteers there. They were following the vehicles. They were at every corner around the courthouse. And because the presence was so heavy, because we were there constantly, it happened from between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. where our volunteers were just following them, circling them, trying to push them out, and they eventually left. Unfortunately, they then went to the jail and took someone there with the help of the sheriff department. We also have a video of what looks to be like police officers escorting ICE agents out of an alleyway in San Luis Obispo between those 4 hours. And so that's what happened in San Luis Obispo. In the article that I think was the Cal Poly Mustangs released, it says that it had been I think the wording that they use is that it wasn't a confirmed vehicle, right? That it's something that we thought to be ICE, but I spend every day watching them, and so we know what's ICE, we know what's not. And there's different ways to support La Cultura del Mundo. There's a lot of ways that I can't necessarily share up here. Cameras around, phones around, but there's a lot of support that's needed silently. For those conversations, please just come up to me. I'll be here all night. And so just, we can talk about that. Funding wise, we have a GoFundMe. It's on our website too, laculturadelmundo.org. If you search La Cultura del Mundo, you should be able to find it pretty easily. And then our GoFundMe's up there. And then that money goes back to the team, our team, they're going to college. I have to help them out too, giving them what they need, helping the families with what they need in multiple different capacities. Everything goes back to the community. I don't keep any of it. It all goes back to my team or to the community that needs it. And so, yeah, there's a few ways. And then if you have more questions, you can come up to me too. So, yeah.
How was it you managed to keep out of their grips? You
I
got
mean-
papers with you, you're carrying all the time? Your
What was that?
birth certificate? You got your birth
Well, they've threatened me. They said they have a warrant for me. They have threatened to arrest me every time I'm near them. They've used my name, my age, they know who I am. And so now it really is like a matter of time. My team and I, we like say it on a daily basis about whether I'll make it to my 18th birthday free or honestly alive. A reason I am so public, and I'll be very transparent with you all, is if we look throughout history, we were talking about the civil rights era, leaders being assassinated, right? So many Black Panthers, so many revolutionaries were assassinated silently, and we don't know about them. We're not taught about them. We're taught about Malcolm X, MLK, and they were able to live just a little bit longer, and with that little bit extra bit of life, they were able to share their message. And so my hope is I will try to do what I can while I'm out here until I'm not. And then after that, we'll decide. It's a very scary world we're living in. I've been followed home. I've been followed. I don't sleep at home often anymore. I haven't had a home-cooked meal, I think, in like 2 months. Right, and so it's a very scary world we're living in, but the community needs defense, and so if it's me or 100 families, I'd rather it be me than those 100 families, and so it's a matter of time, to be honest. It's a matter of time.
What can we